So, first question, this one was made by Alex from Spain, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so he was looking for to get some information on whether we should drink any special drink or any special liquid before starting a race. I can jump right in. I'm super, super bad in what regards not only nutrition, but especially hydration. One of the big problems I face doing especially ultras is that every time I finish an ultra, I always finish feeling like dehydrated. I'm starting to understand why I'm feeling this because one of the my main like nutrition slash hydration, even though it's more nutrition, strategies that I use is to drink Tailwind. And because we feel that with Tailwind, you have water, what I'm feeling right now is that it's super totally different. If you drink Tailwind, the feeling that your body and mind have is totally different if you drink water. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to just to test not drinking Tailwind and go with a different nutrition approach. And I'm just going with water because I feel that my body reacts better if I just drink water. And now I'm starting just to react negatively to Tailwind because like I go with Tailwind, which is, you know, mixed with water. It's not the same thing. I can give you a personal experience last year, and Paulo already did this race in Madeira. I was doing 85 kilometers, and before reaching one of the first uh, peaks, Pico do Arieiro, a German guy asked me, "Oh, do you have water?" And my reaction was, "Yes, I have." But then I forgot that on both flasks I had tailwind. But for me, it was water, you know? And then when I gave him the flask, not remembering that this was also tailwind, when he tasted, when he started to drink, he said like, and I'm sorry my language, holy shit, I said water, not tailwind. Because if I was looking for tailwind, I also have that. But answering directly to Alex, if whether we should drink any special um, if whether we should drink a special drink or not before the race, my personal experience tells me water. I go with water. And I also can share with you an example from one of our athletes from, for example, last week. Elozine, he drinks tea before the race, on days before the race, and during the race, he drinks water. And I can go a little bit more into detail. The type of tea that Elozine drinks the most is mint tea. Um, on the days before the race and also in the morning before the race. And I will shut up. Going straight to the answer, I drink water. What about you? Is there any special drink that you drink before the race, or you don't drink anything, or you just go with water?
Uh, I have a kind of a ritual, but it's just because I heard it's working, but I don't know if it is really. But I often take a Morten mix, you know, which you put in water. I think you all know what it is. There's a 320 and the one something. You know, it's a little powder that you put on the. It's not really hydration. It's also nutrition. So I take a big one before the race, the day before, and the smallest one in the morning of the race. And I try to keep just hydrated all day before the race, just by drinking water. But I feel like hydration and nutrition is kind of a mix at this point before a race. So I don't know.
What about the others? Shlomi, Reut, if you want to reply, or feel free to write on the
Usually,
chat.
usually I you can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So usually I myself like to make my own isotonic drink, taking like grape sugar that usually is for babies, and mix it. I'm taking water, putting like 3 cups of grape sugar, adding a little bit of table salt, and for the taste, I'm adding also like syrup, also like a grape syrup or a blueberry syrup, something like also the children are drinking. And this is what I take before the race itself. I actually zip it like a small taste until I go to the start line and throw the bottle, and that's it. I'm starting with already with like carbonates and salt and water and everything. So it gives me like breathing space until the next station, which I'm using the water and everything.
Uh, but in your case, Lomi, like, do you take that or do you drink that considering that it's like kind of like your breakfast, or you eat your breakfast plus that?
Yeah, the breakfast itself, I don't consider it as breakfast, but usually I take like
Bread,
white bread with honey,
Gum.
with the honey or
Gum.
with gum, something like jam. Sorry,
Yeah.
jam. Something very small that it won't impact my stomach,
So
and
what
drink
do you
it
do?
with like with coffee or something like this, and until the race itself, between the small breakfast, I keep on hydrating myself until I reach the start line.
Yeah.
I
So
drink only water.
you drink only water?
Water.
Okay. Well, yeah, the thing is that it's super important to do this disclaimer, which is what works for Reut or Shlomi or Olivier might not work for me or for Marine or for Paulo, Jorg, and Sergio. I have the answer here from Jorg. So in the case of Jorg, he drinks water and 1 cup of coffee, which is okay. But again, I'm pretty sure that, well, we listen to every day, like, to, oh, like, this is my formula and this is my formula and this is my formula, even though that maybe we know this, that my body is totally different than yours. So it's good to listen from different opinions, and it's super important to test and see what works. In the case of Marin, Paulo, Sergio, do you want to add something to the others' experience? Feel free to write on the chat, and I will be able to answer.
Yeah, it's Sergio speaking. Hello. I used to take some water. I think that is the best to hydrate myself before any training or any race.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter the distance. You only go with water. That's it, Sergio?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Before the race or training, I just take water. After, during, I take water with something, but
Uh-huh.
just before, I only take water.
Yeah. Good.
It's the
Good.
only thing I.
So that's your special drink. I like it.
Yes, water is natural.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course. Keeping things simple. What about you, Marine?
I just drink water as well.
Water.
Only water.
Good, 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 good. Maybe like some like water brands should do something cool, focusing on the trail running community, because as we can see, most of us drink water. Just like, for example, what's the name of that non-alcohol brand that it's super famous in the US? And they are investing a lot in the trail running community. Um, Athletic Brewing?
It's not Heineken, 0-0.
What? I look at no, 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 no.
No, they are no, they have their own like 0% of alcohol.
Is it Athletic Brewing. I'm just Athletic. Is it so? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Let me just confirm with the logo.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah, Athletic. Yeah, exactly. This is the one. So what they are doing, they are going like all in trail running, which is, so they have two kinds of products. I think it's like sparkling water and also non-alcoholic beer. And they are getting super famous in especially in the US. So that's why I was suggesting that the water brand could start to invest in trail. Well, I think that water is mandatory in all races, so it will depend on the place where the race is being organized. So let's go with the second question. Now this one comes from David, also from Spain. So he wanted to hear from us on whether we should, or when you drink like isotonic, just like isotonic. Isotonic with a bit of like salt, or just going with water and salt. So option A is just like isotonic, that's it, as a like hydration drink. Water with salt, or just put salt, or a mix of both, like isotonic also using or pouring some salt. Again, I can jump right in. Um, I would need to ask for an option D, because it's very rare to drink isotonic. In what regards, like salt, it depends on the race. And here and I have another question about the weather, but it really depends on the weather. It really depends on the distance, because normally I don't put any salt, or I don't eat chips, or I don't just have those like salt capsules. So for me, I would ask for an option D, which is none of them, none of the like options above. Maybe I would go with salt. I'm trying just to avoid those isotonic drinks, just for the sake of, I think it's a super quick sugar like peak, and then I really feel the lack of energy. So I would go with option D, none of the options above. What about you? And I can, again, isotonic, or you drink isotonic, you have something like with like a drink with salt, like any uh pouring some salt in water, or the combination of both, isotonic plus salt, or you can go also with option B, which is none of the other options. What's your experience? Don't feel shy. Olivier, let's go.
I'm not taking, if I'm taking gel, there is this sodium in the gel, so it's enough. I don't take anything else.
You don't drink, for example, isotonics or.
No, I don't like it.
Okay.
Only water.
Yeah, again, water.
And juice, orange juice. If there is a juice, orange, I put in my mouth, orange.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the
That's-
orange juice, yeah.
For the oranges, I agree. I also like the oranges. On the other hand, I assume that we will talk about or spoke about nutrition. I have a long issue with nutrition, and always I find myself with stomach issues, and sometimes I even puke, and I'm trying or vomit, and I'm trying to see, if I cannot eat anything, the only thing that remains that can bring me something back is like isotonic or something that I can drink. So if I would have the choice, with just eating food, and then I will skip the isotonic. But if I'm not able to eat anything, then I need something, then probably I will drink some isotonic.
Okay. And even though we don't have any specialty discounts, do you have any favorite isotonic drink that you like the most, or whatever you find in the supermarket?
Again, usually I prepare my own.
Oh, okay.
So this I know, and this works for me. But if it's a long race, then whatever is in the race, I can say that, I don't know, until now, for all those races of the UTMB, like me and Nak, the latest nutrition, we don't get along so well, I must say. But you know,
I one of the I can, again I'm always looking. That's why I really love this like community part behind the scenes. Last week while we were in Chamonix and we were following Elozine, again I share with you that he drinks a lot of tea, and his own gels are made by him with black tea, dates, and honey. That's it. And during the race, like this 42-kilometer race, he only drinks water. And it was funny that on the first aid station in Le Tour, we saw all the other professional athletes, like the top 10, and we were looking for their like their nutrition strategy, and all of them were like lots of gels, lots of isotonics, and lots of water flasks with, well, various brands. And then ours was one water flask and one small flask of like the gel made by Elozine. It was like super, super funny. So this is one. The next one was on the day before the race. We were just walking in the village, like the exhibition, and Elozine visited the NAC stand, and we were there trying their products. It was funny because in what regards gels, he said that the taste is good. Well, like the flavor of the gels is good. That's it. But about the like the sports mix that they use, he doesn't like it because he's so used to the keep it simple rule of drinking water or tea. If he has something that goes beyond that, it's not for them. It's not for him in this case. So it was funny. Olivier, do you wanna add something?
Yeah, well, usually I drink with a flask of water and a flask of isotonic. So in this case, it's a NAC. Also, it's the watermelon one, which is kind of fresh. But I must say, I don't really know if it has made me a better runner. I don't know if I need to try without the isotonic, because I don't really feel like I'm having something more because I drink it. But I don't know if I get something less if I don't. So I need to try it. But yeah, I kind of agree with Lucine way to do things. Maybe keep it simple with water. And I've tried the gels with dates and black tea and and honey, but it was kind of, it's hard to find the right mix to have a consistent gel and not just some weird water.
Maybe
Also, Lucine, I guess, is drinking a lot of mint tea with sugar, a lot of sugar.
yeah, yeah.
So this is kind of it's not just tea. Yeah, you have a lot of carb with it, and
I can tell you that again on the day before I met him because we were running. Yeah, we were going out for like a shakeout run. And when we arrived home, he was preparing his tea, and yes, he added some sugar, like some
yeah.
specific type of sugar. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
But still, when you drink, you feel that your body accepts the tea very well, and it's not that like super, super sweet, because
Yeah,
especially because he uses like the mint leaf, and the flavor, it's super, super good.
yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
again, it's super personal. Let's not
No,
think about that. This is like the like
yeah.
the genius formula, you know?
But I've never tried a salty water, and I think I should maybe, especially in the summer, because I think we all sweat a lot, especially if we're in southern part of the world, and it's really hot, and we need to maybe to compensate the salt we're losing. But I've never tried it, and I don't know if I will see any improvement. But I don't know.
Do you like to try? Are you a type of a person that is
Yeah.
always looking for brands and stuff to try?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, I suck at it. I like.
Yeah.
I,
We have a lot of shops here in well, it's in Paris, so we have a lot of shops where they sell different things. They don't have all don't have the same things. So I've tried a NAC, TA, also TA.
yeah.
You know, of course, well, so many things. So I've tried a lot, but I think it's mostly it's always the same.
So here's
It's just a favor.
here's a suggestion, team. If you ever want a suggestion regarding brand A, B, C until Z, you can ask Olivier because the probability of him trying the brand it's super high. So
Yeah.
you
I
can
try it. Yeah. Watches too, if you need experience with watches. I have a lot.
So any other of the participants wanted to answer to this question? Sergio.
Yeah, I used to put salt in the water, especially in summer. In summer, I think it is difficult for me after 1 hour and a half, 2 hours, something like this. I start feeling bad if I do not take enough of salt. So in summer, especially, I put salt inside. But from time to time, I need to take just water also, not only always water with salt, because I feel I need water from time to time, only water.
Just a quick question. From which part of Spain are you, Sergio?
I'm from Valladolid.
Okay. Okay. Is it hot there during summer?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. So now I understand what you're saying. Good.
The bad point is now I do not live in Spain, so when I come back in summer in Spain, I'm not used anymore to that hot temperature. So
Where,
it is
where
the
are you?
thermal shock is even bigger.
Where are you right now?
I'm living in France.
Oh, okay. Good. Good.
Nice.
Good. So do you live in Paris?
Yes, now
Oh my
yes.
God. Okay. So maybe Olivier, you should
Yeah.
Maybe we will say hello one day.
yeah,
Yeah, well,
you schedule a run. What a
I
funny.
think we will recognize each other with the brand.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Paulo and Tawata or Marine, do you want to add something to this question? I can again bring up the question, which is, do you drink isotonic, mixing with some salty, like salt with water, or just salt with water? What's your opinion?
Well, I took with me always a flask with water and another one with isotonic. I never took two flasks with isotonic. I've been using the Tailwind since 2017 maybe, and well, since a few months ago, I'm starting to get sick of Tailwind.
Yeah.
And I feel that it looks me weaker than that was in the past.
Okay.
I don't know if it's only my body that is starting to reject
Tailwind.
the tailwind. Yes, and for instance, last month in Oh Meu Deus, Serra da Estrela,
Yeah.
I only took with me water because the wind doesn't make anything to me.
Yeah.
Regarding the salt, I'm very careful with that because I still have nightmares with that 2017, during a race, I stopped in an aid station. I was in first 10th, maybe, and I took maybe more than was expected salt with the tomato, and I got sick, nauseous, and had to leave the race a few kilometers after.
Yeah.
So so I try to avoid the salt. Nowadays it's more water than another isotonic.
Yeah.
I also started to look the market to see what I can try, but still with I'm still with the water one.
Well, you know already that if you need any advice, you can ask Olivier because
Yeah.
you might have tried some of the
I
brand
can,
that.
I can even tell you where in Paris you can find them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just to move to one more question, let me just check. Yeah, I will just change a little bit the scope of the question because it was again about like salty water. Even being an amateur, um, is hydration something, and you can answer yes or no, but is hydration something that you really pay attention on the days before the race? Like you try just, I don't know, like to drink 2 to 3 liters of water just to make sure that you reach the race day properly fueled or properly hydrated. Is it something that you pay attention? It can be a yes or no answer. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's change a little bit well, not change, sticking with the hydration, but again here um I like for example, Paulo now said that every time he goes out to run or for a race, he has the flasks. For a race, what's your strategy? Do you have like do you always have a race vest with flasks? Do you have, for example, those handheld bottles, or for example, those running belts with one water flask? Because again, it's super personal. How do you approach this like water carrying during the race? What's your favorite? And why, for example, what, in your opinion, what are the pros and cons of hydration packs versus those handheld bottles? What's your opinion?
Oh,
Um,
in hands bottles are very tricky. You
Okay.
need to always handle something in your hand, so your hand is busy. I don't like. I don't used to do that. I used to use a vest.
Yeah.
It depends on the length, on the needs of
Yeah.
water. If it is not so big, or you can get water from time to time, I used to take a belt and just a flask inside. Otherwise, vest with several flasks or even more on the back, but never in the hand. Never. I don't like to have my hands busy.
Okay. So your favorite strategy is the running vests, and that's it.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Except this is very very small or very easy to have on the go water from time to time. Just only one flask in case of in the belt. Yes, it can be good also.
Okay, okay. Well, maybe if you watched the live stream from Western States, like the 160 kilometers, the 100 miles race, you can see athletes running with like a running belt, and they just have like one flask and they go with it, you know? So that's why I decided I would like to hear from the community on this one. Maybe we have some, I don't know, like ninjas who like to run with like just running belts and then go in one water flask. And also we need to take it, maybe we also need to take it into account that the rules in the race in the US are totally different comparing to the ones in Europe, where most of the races in Europe, it's mandatory for you to have at least or 500 milliliters or 1 liter of water. Maybe in the US it's not mandatory, so we also need to take that into account. Does anyone wants to add to what Sergio said? So we know that for
Yeah.
Sergio, he likes to go with the running vests.
Yeah, I'll go with the running vest. Is the distance is maybe above 15 kilometers or something. I think it's I think I drink a lot, but it was a question I had for before. But I think I really drink a lot when I'm running. Maybe it's not a good thing, so I usually go with the vest for if I go over 15. But below, I guess above 10, I take a flask in a running belt.
The running belt, okay.
Yeah, the only problem with the belt is when the flask is full, you look like you had a little bit too much food. So, but well, I mean, it's not a big deal, but still.
But it doesn't bother you that the flask itself, when it's full, it's like changed the way that you run because it's heavy?
Yeah, yeah. I take a small 250 millimeters of water, so it's a small one. It's half the flask on the vest. It's kind of okay. I mean, I don't feel like I'm too bothered by the flask itself, but and the bed is tight enough so it doesn't jiggle or anything. So it's really nice. Yeah. It's the best way to have water, especially if you're going for a run a little bit harder, and especially if it's hot. Yeah, the bed is cool, but it really depends on the distance and maybe on the way you drink.
For me personally, I think that I've only used a running belt for like 1-2 times, only on trainings, like long trainings, where I know that, for example, I know like the track and I know some like water points. So for me, it's okay to just use one water flask. But I would say that for most of the races, I go with running vests. It's not a question of like I don't like to go like ninja mode. It's just a question of, again, maybe it's mandatory for you to have 1 liter of water. But I'm okay by just using the running vests and I'm comfortable with it. And yeah, I feel that I don't need to change that approach. It's working, so why not again keep things in a very simple way.
I think also that in those official races that you have to bring your the mandatory gear, you don't have any other space, to put it in running belt. So anyway, you need to carry it with the vest. It's much, it's more practical.
No,
So
for sure. Yeah.
it's not just the water, but the other stuff that you must take with you, even
Yeah.
if you don't need it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Marin, do you want to share your experience? Running vests, running belts, none of it.
I use a running vest as well. I don't like running bike so much, so I like a running vest, and I can put my phone, the keys, and everything in, and it's what I used.
Okay, and don't mute yourself because for the next question we can start with you already. And
Okay.
this is also inspired by something that Olivia said. Do you have any rule in what regards, like, for example, time intervals on whether you should drink water or not? Like, do you drink water every time you remember about water? Do you drink water like every 1 hour, every 30 minutes, every 40 minutes?
Depends on temperature. I try to drink every 15 minutes when I remember it.
Every
It's what I
15 or 50?
15, but just small quantity every 15 minutes, because otherwise I get upset stomach. So I try to have smaller quantities.
Okay, so
But
15 minutes for
regularly.
what about you, Olivier?
Yeah, 15 too. Yeah, I think it's might be a rule or something we've read somewhere, but yeah, 15 minutes for for drinking and 30 minutes for food, like something like this. So but sometimes I feel like it's a little bit too much. So maybe I need to adjust.
Mm.
I had a 5-hour run, which is the longest I've run, and I was feeling really hydrated, a little bit too much.
You were drinking water, right?
Yeah, water and yeah, I had 2 flasks of water and one of isotonic.
Okay. Paulo, do you want to add something?
I try to drink water every 15 or 20 minutes and eat something gel something every 50 minutes or 1 hour.
Okay.
But in ultra, sometimes it takes too difficult to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Like
Yeah.
you look at the watch and you say like, is it 50 minutes already? Is it 40
Yeah.
minutes already? Like,
Yes.
I
And
don't care. I just want to eat.
when we start to becoming more tired, it's harder to do that
Yeah.
in time.
I feel it's almost too late when you feel it, but
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. I still remember one rule or one suggestion. The first time I did an ultra was you should drink water every time you think about water. Like every time water comes up, you should just drink
Mhm.
a little bit, and you should eat every like 40 minutes to 1 hour, like and um and that's the rule I follow more or less. The problem is that what I'm feeling right now, and just following on what Paulo said, and I mentioned this in the start of the conversation. Maybe I'm wrong, but what I feel is that like the tailwind with water, nutrition wise, can be okay, but I don't feel hydrated. At the end of all races, I feel a little bit dehydrated, and I feel that I drink lots of water, but still I can see that the feeling that I have is that I'm, yeah, more or less dehydrated, and I don't like that. Obviously, I don't like that. Let's jump into our the last questions of this conversation. If um if you had, based on your experience, and now focusing, and let's go all in on community wisdom. If you have any advice that you would give to someone new to trail running about hydration, what would be that advice? It can be like, well, just follow this rule, maybe try this, maybe try that, or maybe just test and see what works. But in order just to avoid being biased, what would be your advice based on your experience? Okay, I can give you 20 seconds to think.
Well, I can start. The first advice that I will give is to eat before you are hungry and drink before you are thirsty.
Okay, like it. That's some poetry. That's some trail
Yeah.
poetry here. I like it. Thank you, Paulo. Does anyone wants to continue the poem?
It's hard to answer that, but I would say don't forget to take water.
Okay.
But no, I don't really know if it applies. The 15 rules we were discussing is I'm not sure it's applicable to everyone, and maybe it can have some effect on the way you feel when you're running if you have too much water. So yeah, I would say just try and try and try again.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say the same as Olivier. Water is so important, so we need to take water. Even when you are just sitting on the sun, you need to take water. Otherwise, you will feel bad after. So water is so important before and after, but also during you are running.
Yeah. And by the way, just following on, and I'm sorry, just to add like a middle question here. Do you have water every time you go out to run? Or only on if you go out to run, for example, for a training that goes beyond 90 minutes? Or so every time you go out, even if it's just for a 40-minute, 45-minute run, do you bring water with you? Do you take water with you? Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
I'm always
As
with
a
water.
as a good husband and wife, she always said yes, I always said no.
And always the water with me.
Yeah,
Even
she
if
drinks a lot.
Oh,
She drinks a lot all the time.
I'm thirsty.
I don't drink at all, so it
Oh,
depends.
wow. Even if it's just for a 40-minute race, you
Yes,
take
I'm taking.
good.
For sure. I can drink only a 100 milliliter, but I'm taking with me. I mean,
Okay.
with
That's
the belt. If it's 10 kilometer in belt,
yeah, the running belt.
I must take it.
Yeah, for me, 10K, I don't drink.
Yeah, me too.
I
Me
don't
too.
bother.
Me too. Like to go. Well, this is a joke, but for me to go out for a 10K, it's like going to the supermarket. You know, like I'll be back. It's see you in 40 minutes, and then I go out and then come back and oh, that's done. No, but I totally understand. Again, just like Olivier is saying, like maybe the quantity of water he drinks is not enough for him, and because of that he feels like dehydrated. But for Reut, maybe the quantity of water that Olivier drinks is like a lot, you know. So if I had to give an advice, I would say obviously listen from others, read, try to learn, but never forget to try, never forget to test. Like Reut does, like go out for a 40-minute run, drink water. If it works, good. Go for a 15-minute 50K run, take water, and try to see and try to have some like look and feel in what regards hydration. Try some brands, um try water with salt, try isotonic drinks. So don't say no until you try. I would say that.
But don't try the day of the race.
Don't try in the day of the race, that's for sure. That's also a good suggestion.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't buy
Well,
anything.
that's a good try too. You can try
Yeah,
it on
true.
but
I
it's
can add
risky.
also a point that if I'm drinking, I'm trying to drink a bit every now and then. You know, not take everything like in one shot, like
Yeah.
wait for
Yeah.
50 minutes and then drink half a bottle because you just choke and it just
No,
kills
it's
you
not
because it's
good.
like, but every now and then a zip here, a zip there, it's much more comfortable and keeps you all the time, on a flat level.
Okay. I'm sorry, Olivier, because I didn't look at the chat, and I noticed that you kind of like ask exactly the same question.
Yeah.
Marin, do you have any other advice for someone who just, or you gave it already? No?
No, I don't give it, but I think I have a lot to learn because only things I can drink is either water or Coke, because other things I try, I'm feeling sick with it. And for the moment, what I'm doing when it's very warm in summer is to eat some olives, because it's south of France, to have salt and drink water separately. So it's very nice to hear from you to see if there is a way to combine both, because a few times I try isotonic, it's make me feeling sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure I have advice.
Well, the best advice is follow my advice, which is learn, and
Yeah.
again, a test. Just to before we finish, I was just thinking about, do you have any story or memory from a race or from a training where a proper hydration made like a huge difference in the way you felt during the run or in the way you felt during the race? Do you have any story or do you have any memory coming from a training or a race where like drinking water was like Asterix, where he drinks the like the that liquid is and feels strong? Do you have any story?
I have the opposite story.
You have the opposite.
Well, yeah, once I had a beer before a run,
Okay.
and it was like never again. So because I felt so thirsty during it was a 10K run, so it was not very long, but I felt thirsty, but right away, and yeah, no, never anymore.
That's not a proper hydration
Yeah,
strategy, right?
no, it's not absolutely not.
Yeah, but I can tell you, and Paulo can confirm that in some races in Portugal, you can find beer in some of the aid stations.
Yeah, yeah.
So well,
And there are one race in Santarém, Francisco, that
Mm.
has gin.
gin, yeah, gin, yeah,
Yeah,
true.
gin.
True, 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 true. Yeah, like especially I knew about beer and I knew about this race in Santarém, but mostly like the beer because beer is like a Portuguese culture. And that's why I knew that in some races you will find beer in aid stations. Now, I can tell you that from my experience, I never saw someone drinking beer, but I'm
Mm.
pretty sure that people drink.
I
Mm.
saw a lot of people drinking beer during the races.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Jesus.
Regarding the best experience with hydration, for me it was last December during Alut.
Yeah, I'll gotta flip.
I strictly followed those rules to drink and eat, and I felt during all the race very strong. It was my best race ever, and after that race I tried to follow again the rules, but I couldn't. It was not easy for me. It was one of the main objectives for me this year is to even in the trainings to follow these rules, but it has been hard to do that.
Well, but at least you have the experience that if you follow the rules,
Yes, it works.
it works. Yeah.
Yeah, it works. It works.
We have the experience from Jorg that is saying that he likes to drink a 25 centiliter beer and take also some beer with him. Well,
Oh,
so again, what works for some doesn't work for others, which is so he's saying during the race when I'm an old man.
yeah.
And yeah, and Jorg is from Germany, so beer is also part of the German culture. But it's funny again. I would say like the main conclusion or one of the main conclusions from this conversation is that yeah, try as much as possible. Yes, water is super important. We have people that drink water every 15 to so I'm from Germany on the border to Czech and Poland. Okay. So some people drink like every 15 minutes to 20 minutes, eat every 40 minutes to 1 hour. We have Riot that even on training, whatever the distance, she takes water. But I would say that the most important thing is just like Marin said, learn, try, tests. What works for some doesn't work for others. From isotonic to beer to water to Coke to water with salt. Like I would say that learn, listen from others, and tests, and I'm pretty sure that you will find your own favorite brand, which is your formula. What I was trying to say is that you will find your perfect formula, which is the one that works best for you. Team, once again, thank you so much for participating. It was super, super cool to listen from you, to learn from you, and thank you so much for sharing your experience. Don't forget that on the 29th, July the 29th, we will be back with our next topic. Again, it was a suggestion from Shlomi. So we go from hydration to talk about how to pack your race bag. Okay. Again, we know that there are some rules in the United States, there are some rules in Europe, there are some rules in every races. Let's hear from your experience. But most important, thank you so much for your participation. Thank you so much for being such a valuable members of the community. Any questions, any other suggestions, please feel free to come talk with me or just ask it on the group. Again, this event is being recorded. We will share with all of you the recording of this event if you want to listen again. And have an amazing week. Okay?
Thank you, Francisco.
Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Danke. Ciao.